Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the third group, and today we are going to present implementation of literacy strategies in learning. First of all, I'd like to introduce our members. These are members of the group. First, my name is Afina Pradini, and then Sri Putri Ramadhani, and then Yurika Resti, then Sulistia Alfiani, and last Shifa Aulia. These are contents of the discussion. First, what strategies are used in the literacy activities, and then are the literacy activities carried out in line with the strategies used? Then, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the strategies? And last, what is your recommendation for the literacy activities in the show? First, we are going to discuss about what strategies are used in this literacy activity. The strategy used in the video provided is the Freyer model. The Freyer model is a comprehension learning strategy that uses various graphic tools into 4 parts, and in this strategy, students are asked to identify the understanding and focus, with each part of the diagram providing a clear explanation of the word. The first part contains the definition of the word, the second part explains the characteristic of the word, and then the third part provides examples of words, and the fourth part shows words that are not examples. This teaching technique not only helps students understand the meaning of word in depth, but also encourages them to apply knowledge by providing examples, non-examples explaining characteristics, and or drawing to illustrate the meaning of the word. And in addition, the strategy can be used to foster collaboration between students, encourage discussion, and utilize graphic organizers as visual aids in vocabulary learning.
And the next question is, does the implement literacy activity align with the strategy used? So the answer is yes. The literacy activity carried out aligns with the strategy used, which is the layer model in a literacy strategy. This is the evidence of its alignment. The first one is reading the material. So the students begin by reading the material from the book, allowing them to familiarize themselves with the topic before engaging in discussions. And then the second one is group discussion. Students are divided into groups based on vertebrate subcategories, which promotes collaborative learning and deeper exploration of the topic. And then the third one is filling in layer model. Students complete the diagram outlining the definitions, characteristic, examples, and non-example or vertebrate animals, helping them structure and internalize information effectively. And then the next one is presentation. Students present their discussion results, reinforcing their understanding through explanation and peer feedback. And the last one is reflection and conclusion. Students summarize key takeaways, demonstrating their comprehension and ability to synthesize information. So the layer model literacy strategy in this lesson provides a systematic framework for organizing information, making it easier for students to understand concepts, retain knowledge, and develop critical thinking skills through structure, reading, discussion, and reflection.
So next question, what are the strengths and weakness of these strategies? The strength of these strategies, the first in this model is active student participation. So this strategy can be applied in group work such as collaboration and discussion. Therefore, in the FAIR model strategies, students work in groups to discuss a concept, provide example and information, and define it in their own words. So through this process, they can collaborate, exchange ideas, and correct each other's understanding, making learning more in-depth and interactive. The second, independence in learning. So this model helps students become more independent in seeking information. With the FAIR model, students categorize information, find definition, examples and non-examples of the concept being studied. So they complete worksheet based on what they have read and discovered, training them to learn independently, think critically, and organize information more effectively. And the last, retention and recall information. So by actively filling out the FAIR model, student can remember information more easily. And then student connect new information with prior knowledge and actively fill out the charts. So since they themselves explore and construct their understanding, the learning process becomes more meaningful, and this direct engagement strengthens memory retention compared to merely listening to the teacher explanation.
The weakness of those strategies. The first, time consuming. Why? Because preparing templates for each new vocabulary term can be very time consuming, and this reduces the amount of content that can be covered in a single lesson. So the second of the weakness is oversimplifications, which is the four-part format like definitions, characteristics, examples, and non-examples may not adequately capture complex concepts like a or ecosystem. So this might miss important details like how species change over time like to fit their environment. So this is because the model is too simple. So the last, difficulty with abstract concepts. Abstract terms like entropy or justice in a video are hard to explain with clear examples. Not examples for these concepts can be confusing or unclear, and the structure format may oversimplify complex ideas and limit deeper thinking. So it is works better when combined with discussions or visual aids for better understanding.
So for the fourth question, what is your recommendation for the literacy activity in the show? There are several recommendations. First one is deeper use of the layer model. The first pre-learning activity, and the pre-learning activity before starting group discussion, the teacher could provide more triggered question or a short quiz about the previous material or in vertebrates to activate student prior knowledge, such as how do invertebrates differ from vertebrates in terms of body structure and functions, which invertebrate group do you think play the most important role in ecosystem and why. Second, filling out the layer model. In addition to filling in the definition characters, example and non-example, students could be asked to add new columns such as habitat or ecological role to broaden their understanding of vertebrates. And next, more interactive presentation. After presentation, the teacher could ask students from other group to provide feedback or add information that might have been missed. Second, enhanced interaction and collaboration. First, more structured discussion. The teacher could provide more detailed discussion guidelines such as a list of questions that each group must answer. For example, what is the main difference between fishes and mammals, or why are whales classified as mammals even though they live in water? Second, more dynamic question and answer sessions. After presentation, the teacher could facilitate a live layer Q&A session by awarding points or rewards to students who ask questions or provide accurate answer. Next, peer teaching. Students from groups that have presented could be asked to teach students from other groups in turn. This would reinforce their understanding. Third, strengthening conceptual understanding. First, mind mapping. After discussion, students could create mind maps about the classifications of vertebrates. This would help them visualize the relationships between different animal groups. Second, case study. The teacher could provide case studies such as what if there is an animal that has characteristics of two different groups. This will encourage critical thinking of the student. Next, educational games. The teacher could use games like online quizzes, like Kahoot or flashcards to test students' understanding of the characteristic and example of the vertebrate itself. Fourth, the use of varied learning media. First, the use of short videos. Showing short videos about the lives of vertebrates in their natural habitats will make learning more engaging and contextual. Second, using images and infographic. The teacher could use image or infographic that show comparisons between vertebrates groups, for example, the difference between reptiles and amphibians, something like that. Number five, continuous and diverse assessment. First, formative assessment. In addition to daily assessment, the teacher could conduct a formative assessment through observation of student participation, short quizzes, or small tasks like creating a poster about one vertebrate group. Next, clear rubric. The teacher could provide clear assessment rubric that include aspects such as participation in discussion, accuracy of information presented, and creativity in presentation. Next, student reflection. At the end of the lesson, students could be asked to write a brief reflections on what they learned, difficulties they faced, and what they would like to learn more about. Six, reflections and evaluation of learning. The first, teacher reflections. The teacher could reflect on the effectiveness of the strategies used, such as whether the layer model sufficiently helps students understand the material or if it needs modification, something like that. Second, student feedback. The teacher could ask students for feedback on the learning activities, such as what they enjoy and what could be improved. Next, continued improvement. Based on reflections and feedback, the teacher could design more effective learning strategies for future sessions. And the last one is utilizations of technology, the use of digital platform. The teacher could utilize platforms like Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams to share material assignment and additional learning resources. And the next is learning application. Application like Quizlet or Padlet could be used to create flashcard or interactive discussion board about vertebrates to make a student more engaged in the classroom itself.
So here's the conclusions. The learning strategy used in this video is the prior model, which aims to help students understand material about the classification of living things, especially vertebrates. Through group discussion, students can learn the characteristic and example of animals from each vertebrate group. The learning process is carried out by filling in the prior model, which allows students to explore the characteristic and example of animal from each vertebrate group. Each group is responsible for presenting the result of the discussion in the front of the class. It is important to understand that even though whales live in the water, whales are still included in the mammal group because they have mammalian characteristics such as giving birth and breastfeeding their young. This lesson aims to deepen the students' understanding of the classification of living creatures, especially vertebrates, with an interactive and literacy-based approach. So I think that's all from us. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.